You pick up the bikini, wondering if you should put it on. You are headed to the water park, it seems, but you're not sure there'll be anything you want to splash around in. Still, it looks so sexy. What if you run into Uncle James? No. As appealing as the idea might be, you can't think of a good reason to put that bikini on, so you'll just have to take it with you. For now. You fish out the picture of your uncle from the wedding and look at it. It seems quite a long time since you've seen this picture. It doesn't look quite right. You can't remember much about that day. But one thing's for sure, James was never quite the same after it. You aren't surprised. He looks sick in the picture you just found. You take the key out of the locker and take a close look at it. It looks like it goes to locker number 312. A casual glance around the lockers in front of you tells it that these are in the 2000 range, so there must be more lockers elsewhere. Of course it can't be easy. You say a little prayer to St. Monica for some well-needed patience for your frayed nerves. You get moving, looking around the wide area a little more. You follow the lights up to the door, which, as you get closer, you realize is both seriously cracked and heavily chained and padlocked. The crack is that from the hammer you found? That's what the note you read seemed to suggest. There's a sign on the ground. Flanking the door are disgusting stone fountains spewing the slain back ooze that's plagued you since you entered the park. You give the oozing, disgusting fountains as wide a berth as possible and pick up the sign. Swimsuits and sandals must be worn in the water park. Have fun! You tug uselessly and noisily at the chains in the door. They won't budge. Now your hands feel nasty and greasy. Since the lock is sturdy, really as locks are supposed to be, you take a look to see if there's any way you could get around the door. If you really wanted, you could try and squeeze between the bars of the fence. You'd have to risk being splashed with that black stuff. It didn't work so well last time. This is probably some sort of magic door operating on dream logic. You need to put on the bikini. Ordinarily, it would take a lot of booze to make you just strip in the middle of the outdoors where anyone can see. But for your Uncle James, you'll do anything, even if it means getting naked in the middle of a monster-infested theme park. Briefly, anyway. Keep an eye out for monsters, Evelyn, that bitch, or anyone else who has you hastily shed your familiar, if a little soggy, gross, and bloody clothing. Despite your initial doubts, the bikini does fit, quite well even. Maybe you should be suspicious about that. You put the bikini on and fuss a bit, worrying about how you look. Are you too pudgy for a bikini? What would your Uncle James say if he saw you dressed like this? You put your coat back on, so you can keep your inventory with you. As you're in denial about your body consciousness, you become aware that something's happening through the rumbling the soles of your sandals. The doors make a grinding noise as if trying to open, but the chains hold them shut. Mostly anyway. There's a narrow crack between the doors now that you could peer through to the other side. You peer through the crack between the doors, trying to get an idea of what might be beyond them. The water park. Sadly, all you can see is darkness looming there, except at the bottom of the doors, lying on the ground, you see something shining. You get down on your hands and knees and quickly thrust your arm through the narrow gap, groping for the shining object. You don't see any way this could go wrong. Nope. Your hand darts in the hole too late. You're just in time to see a figure bend down and snatch the glimmering object away from you. The object shines momentarily in the light. Wait, it looks familiar. That's the necklace Borje gave you. You don't even know when or how you lost it, let alone how it got in there. You call for the woman to give it back, but she doesn't answer. Walking away in the darkness, her skin seems to glow faintly as she retreats into the heavy gloom. You need that necklace back. You look around quickly for a key to the door. Taking a quick look around the area, you notice there's something in the popcorn machine. Could it be a key? You carefully reach in the warm, buttery womb of the popcorn machine and fish around for whatever you saw, as if hunting for the prize in the bottom of a possibly poisoned bottle of Cracker Jacks. Fingers close on something plastic. You're pulling your hand away in triumph as your fingers brush something warm and wet and worryingly organic. Stifling a scream, you yank your hand away and stagger backwards, nearly falling on your rear. Whatever the thing is still gripped in your hand. As you stumble, you see something pushing its way out of the popcorn machine. Oh, it's one of those disgusting baby doll things. You scream and do your best impression of Jesus at the marketplace. flipping the popcorn machine and sending it crashing to the ground. The baby doll cries out a wail that sends a shiver down your spine. You sneak a hasty glance at the thing in your hand, a key on a triangular fob. Looking close, it says Tilt-A-Whirl. Better not check that. It sure can't be the key to the gate. You take one last look at that horrible baby thing and book it back out the door to the hallway, hoping the miserable, wretched thing can't follow you. Standing in the hallway, you look around for where to go. Let's see, there's the stairway down to the House of Mirrors. Beyond it, there's a room with a roller coaster, the room with the shooting gallery, the room with the Cupid dolls, the room where Evelyn vanished, and 2 rooms you haven't been in yet. You creep through the hall and pick one of the unexplored areas at random. At least that horrible doll doesn't seem to be following you. You walk through a dark hall until you come to another wide open space. It looks like a teacup ride. How cheery. You squint your eyes and creep right up to the edge of the ride, not daring to step on in case the ride suddenly starts spinning. As your angle of view changes, you're treated to yet another stomach-wrenching sight. The body of a woman is stuffed into the teacup, her hands bound to the wheel in the center, her body beaten and scratched, her bloated belly apparently torn open and stitched back close. You can't resist the urge to take one stomach-churning glance at the body before tearing your eyes away and staring stubbornly at the ground. You don't want to see her face. You don't want to know. Who would do something like that? Ripping open her stomach, then casually discarding her like trash? Why wasn't there someone to protect her? Okay, maybe it's best to look at any of the other teacups. Pushing through your fear that the ride may move with you on it, or perhaps just momentarily forgetting, you step up to peer inside one of the other teacups. Scattered on the bench inside, you spy another handful of old photographs. You snatch the pictures up and take a quick look at the top one as you jam them in your coat. It's that... Wait, who is that? You snatch up all the pictures and jam them into your coat, jumping off the ride just in time. As it starts moving, discordant music fills the air, and the cups begin to swirl. You whip out your gun and truck it, fleeing the room with swirling ride and loud, discordant music. It fades behind you as you make your way to the final door in the hallway. You linger in the mouth of the tunnel, peering inside to see another ride, and the operating booth for it. As you approach, it does look like a Tilt-A-Whirl, though the name of the ride is apparently the White Queen's Sleigh Ride, has a carriage theme and eerie, icy glow. Though you're all set to use your key, the gate opens easily at the touch of your hand.